Good morning, good morning, good morning. What's up, Facebook Live? How are you all? Hey, I'm just rolling. I'm in driving mental mode today. It's Knowledge by Nikki with 1K. And that's knowledgebynikki.com. That's Knowledge by Nikki Instagram, Knowledge by Nikki Facebook, Knowledge by Nikki Twitter, Knowledge by Nikki at Gmail. That's Knowledge by Nikki everything, guys. Let me tell you something I heard yesterday. And you know how I listen to talk radio. I actually was in my husband's car, and he has XM satellite radio, and I'm going to get it because I really do like it. But he listens to Joel Osteen's station, which is, I think, XM 128. And Joel Osteen had a lady on there who, I mean, y'all, in our worst times of struggle, ain't none of us been through what she's been through. And she's a international minister somewhere in Australia. And so the lady went into talking about how she had been trafficked. Well, first she was born with, they left her in the hospital, so no name, no nothing, no signed birth certificate. So they gave her a number. That was the first thing. And then she basically kind of, went into the system, was sexually abused for many years, up until like 12 years old, and then was sold into sex trafficking. So, and she goes on and on and on. She's had cancer, like stage 3 and 4 different cancers. And I mean, this lady, to listen to her story, y'all, it was like, I ain't been through nothing. That's all you can say. But it was something she said that really resonated with me. And it made me think about my salon owners and my stylists. And she said he asked her, and when she was maybe about in her 40s, because I think she got saved in her 30s. I forgot how she got out of trafficking, and I forgot all the details of the story. But she said someone she met introduced her to Christianity and introduced her to God. And when you're that broken, and when you're that feelings of abandonment, and just, she had all kind of stuff going on in her. You're looking for almost anything to connect to that sounds like it makes sense or sounds like it's something good. So she quickly, kind of was attracted to the whole Christian lifestyle because she just needed something. So I believe she said she was in her 30s. And so by the time she got into her 40s, she stated that she had really got rock solid in her faith, in her belief in God, and how only God could bring somebody out of this type of lifestyle, and she didn't feel broken anymore. So she's going on and on to say all this, but this is the thing that she said that is what I want to talk about today. He asked her, when she got into her like late 40s, how did she not ever think about or ever revert back to possibly some of the behaviors and some of the thought processes that she had prior. This is what she said, and I wish I could remember her name. She said, I set my default so that when I had moments of weakness, it automatically reverted back to prayer, to meditation, to fasting, and her list just went on and on and on and on. She said, I disciplined myself to set my default that even without thinking, I automatically knew, or my mind knew, even when I wasn't conscious of it, what needed to happen when I fell back into thoughts of, there was suicide. And and just her saying that, I was actually on my computer in the car at the time that she was saying it. And I kept trying to send emails out to people for different things because I have to do work whenever I can. And I kept forgetting that the default my computer was set for was not the email address I wanted people to get the email from. So I had to go into my computer, and obviously you have to go into the settings, and I had to change the default setting so that people now can get what it is that I'm trying to give them from where I'm trying to give it to them from. And then also the metaphoric way that it made me think was that, what is it that our defaults are set to? Because there was an email that I needed people to be able to respond to in order for me to get what I needed from them. I didn't need them to respond to that email. And as I'm listening to this lady talk and I'm doing what I'm doing, I thought about my people. I thought about my salon owners. I'm always thinking about ways to better help my salon owners and better help my industry and just people in general, because I love to matter and to be of assistance to people. So I talked to someone right after the lady went off. I had to get on the phone and make some calls. And this is what I told her. So listen to me good, guys. I told her she was going through some things. She's a salon owner of multiple salons, going through some things. Things ain't quite working out right for her. She's a little bit stressed out. And the thing is, I asked her this. I said, okay, we know I don't care how much you dot your I's and how many T's you cross. Some stuff still gonna happen. It just is. That's just what life is. Life is just not going to be perfect all the time. It's just not. So I asked her, when you get in these positions or these mindsets, what do? She told me that she does nothing. She just kind of goes into this mental block and into this phase where she does nothing. So because I had just heard this woman talk about it, this is what I told her. I said, your business is suffering in these areas, things that we had discussed. What I want you to start doing is to start, write them down on a big board or a piece of paper or a chalkboard. I don't care where you write. All these different areas that you know your business is suffering, or that even if it's not suffering, that you just know you can do better at it. Write it down in all these different areas. And what I want you to do is I want you to focus. When you get in that mode, you make these things in whole or in part your default settings. Meaning, it's just like some of us have different things that we do for defaults. When you get a little stressed out, little anxiety, you go clean your house. Or you go, whatever. What I wanted her to get and what I want everybody else to get is that when you find yourself in a place where you're mentally either distracted or you're kind of on low gear, depressed, whatever you want to call it, I want everybody to set their default on something productive. Make sure, and this is a discipline now. This is a discipline that you have to work at. It is a habit that you have to mentally change. Don't go shopping and spend a bunch of money you don't have anyway. Don't eat. You know, a lot of us get into eating modes. Our default setting is automatically we start eating up everything. Don't start doing anything that's going to cost you money or waste unnecessary time. I always say, when I train myself to do some things and I go into straight, I'm talking about overproduction mode. I will do stuff like clean out a whole storage compartment or clean out a garage, or I'll sit down and every possible thing that I could do with my business that I've been putting on the back burner for a year, I'll sit and go through, I'll shred documents, I'll do something that is productive. But I say to all of you what I said to the lady yesterday, because I know a lot of us that are owners, we give way more time to that chair because we're still behind it than we do to focusing on our business. So I want everybody that's listening to me, if you are in charge, manager, owner, in the salon industry, I want you right now to work on setting your default modes to something productive for your businesses. Whatever it is. If you need to do some more webinars, if you need to do some Facebook Lives, if you need to blast your pictures that you've already done, I don't care what it is. Look at your business, and just like this lady said, it was just so, I wish I could say it the way she did, but it was so profound. She just kept stressing and using the word that I have learned to set my default mode on what helps me get out of the jam. not what puts me further into the jam I'm in or another jam, which would be like spending money you ain't got, or eating, and then we end up having health issues, gaining weight, whatever it is. So what is your default set to? What is your default set to? Think about your computers. Think about everything you have, every electronic, everything has a default button. Everything has a revert back to button, so that if all else fails, you can always go back to this button, or this button will automatically be what other people get on the other side. So think about it. Think about how you react to stress, how you react to pressure, how you react to when things don't go your way. What is your default set on? Do you automatically, if you driving, you all know that watch me on a regular basis, I love driving. Do you automatically, as soon as something happens on the road, you go into road rage? Is that your default? Are you reactive or proactive? Which one is that? I will tell you that if you don't get a good default setting, because life gonna happen, some stuff is gonna happen, you are gonna find yourself, as life throws you some curveballs, you are gonna go further and further into a deeper state of depression or anxiety, or whatever metaphor, whatever adjective we want to call what you're feeling, and you're going to feel like you can't handle it. You're going to feel like you want to quit. I know some people right now who have had successful businesses, salons, that when life happened and things happen, which like I told you yesterday, life happens, but it is because of our choices. Most of our choices bring us to these places that we're in. And a lot of people have given up in that moment because they did not have their default setting set to actually help them through this mode. Now, this is a discipline, and I just told y'all just part of this lady's story. If this lady who done been sex trafficked, who done been raped by multiple foster homes, who done had cancer twice, and something else, I mean, it was just a unimaginable story that one person could handle so much. And for her to say that she knew in order to not fall back into her old ways of thinking, that she had to develop habits, like I was talking about yesterday, daily habits, daily and just constant disciplines, so that her default setting automatically will go back to what it is that she knew she wanted to do when she was feeling low or when she was getting distracted. So what is your default set to? I need everybody to think about that. Think about when things happen, how do you react to them? How do you react? What do you do? Because I'm telling you what a lot of you all are not doing. And you're not making your business part of your default setting. You're not making working on your businesses or work. When you have extra time, let that extra time be for, obviously we have to have work-life balance. So if you have children, if you have a husband or a wife, or if you have friends, we gotta make relationships matter also. But you cannot make your business last and have no default setting to handle your business needs and then think it's gonna succeed. It's not gonna happen. It's not gonna happen. Just like that lady, if she had not created a default setting, she would easily revert back to dealing or functioning in her abandonment feelings, or functioning in her feelings of being, she said she was sexually promiscuous, because that's all she had been exposed to. She been raped and then she been trafficked. That's all she knew. So she had to work out of sexual promiscuity. She had to actually get her mindset to where her default settings when she felt low did not go back to all of those things. So what is your default setting on? What is it on? I want you to think about that. Look at your gadgets. See what your default setting is on for your phone, for your computer. See, is it actually on the setting you need it to be on, so when you send something or when you do something, people on the other side get it the way you want it to be. You understand? So this is something that I think is extremely important. And guys, it is not happening enough in our businesses. We are not spending enough time allowing our default settings when we have time, and it shouldn't even just be when you have time, but outside of that, when you're feeling low, because we're gonna go through this, we're human. Are you spending energy and time on focusing on your business? Are you spending any energy and time on the staff members that you say are driving you bananas? Let me tell you something I learned about staff members. And this is, I got it. I always was somewhat like this, but I got it cultivated and understood how to do it after I read The 5 Levels of Leadership. That's by John Maxwell. I've talked about that book 100 times. What I learned about that book is at that 5th level of leadership when it comes to personal development is also something that I need to have my default settings on. That means when I am feeling a somewhat kind of way and my brain is all over and I'm maybe got anxiety and whatever it is, I also spend my energy focusing on the people who help me succeed. Meaning, I now have to care about what matters to them. That means you're going to have to focus on some things with your workers that have nothing to do with work, nothing to do with you, but is about them. It is about them understanding how they need to get to their best selves, and you letting them know that you care enough about them that you're going to help them do that. And that is something that a lot of salon owners do not want to do. You do not want to spend energy helping your stylists or your staff members be their best selves. And that means you got to do it off script, outside of work. Whatever you're dealing with at times has to not be about what they're providing for you or your business. It has to just be about them. You have to care about their personal development. If you don't, you will never get the best out of your workers. You'll never get it. You will never get it. And this is something, even with workers that sometimes seem unappreciative, our default settings still has to go to the fact that I still need to help them. You help them up into a point where you can't help them anymore. If that means you have to let them fly, then that's fine. But your default settings for your business when it comes to your staff members should be that I am always in my spare time when I'm not having to just work on the money and how everything is going to help here and how everything is going to be able to produce what I needed to produce. Then make your default settings. I'm going to spend time with my workers. I'm going to take them all out to dinner. We're going to talk about nothing concerning work. We're going to just talk about what it is that they need and what it is that they are looking to do. You'd be amazed at how much more productivity you can get out of your people when they know that you care about what matters to them. So I'm just giving you some ideas about different default settings that you can go into. Somebody's asking me about the book. Yes, it is called The 5 Levels of Leadership by John Maxwell. And it is a practical book. It is a book that you need to focus on doing each level separately. You start off with one. It's 5 levels. It's position. Let me see if I can remember because I read it a while ago. You get the position, then it's productivity, then it's, let me see, permission. I'm sorry. It's position, then permission, then productivity, then personal development, and then pinnacle. There are 5 levels, and you have to work on them one at a time. And if you get to the 3rd one and you ain't good at that, you might need to go back to the 2nd one. That is what these deal with. This is how you get the best out of people. You're going to have to put some work behind getting the best out of people. Even your booth renters who just pay you rent. Okay? But what is your default setting on? I need everybody to really think about that. What is it on? How do you react when you have free time? How do you react when you get stressed? How do you react when your brain is you got adult ADD and your brain is all over the place? What is your default set to? And that's something I want you all to think about. Because I had to think about it. When the lady said that, I said, what is my default set to? I had to think about situations and times when stuff was just kind of blurred. And I got to figure something. And what is your default set to? I'm a driver. So I literally am in the car and I'm on the phone a lot, doing a lot of productive things in my driving mode. You have to also find a place. Where is the place sometimes that you go to when you go into your default mode that you are the most productive? Mine is my car and now my new office. where I have no noise. I got good sunlight. I'm a sun bunny. Where is the place that you go to when you actually are in your default settings? Because some of us need a place to go to. Call it your war room, call it whatever you want to call it. But where do you go? You have to get yourself personally and professionally disciplined enough to where it is automatic. You almost don't have to think about it. Some of y'all are gym junkies. That's fine. Go to the gym. You literally are in the gym. I see people in the gym that I'm a member of. I see people, they work out like crazy, and then they have workstations in the gym that I'm at. And I see those people, they are sitting at those workstations from the time I get there to the time I leave. They done already worked out. So is that your place that you go? So in this time, your default setting is I go to the gym, I work out, blow off some steam, and then I sit at this counter. They got plug-ins for phones. They got everything in the gym that I'm at. So you can literally sit there and do work. What is your default? Or some people just need some quiet. They just need some time to just be quiet. Where is your place? And what are your default settings on to do in that place when this happens? Your business needs to be part of your default settings. Your business should not be the other thing that you do. It can't, guys. It cannot. I'm constantly trying to help you all to get better, but yet you have to be able to create some disciplines and some things on your own when people like me aren't there or aren't online or aren't on Facebook Live to be able to persuade you to do it. These are things you have to do on your own. So write a list, guys. Write a list of places that you like to go in order to get away from some of the stresses. And I want you to write a list of productive things, not unproductive, that you are going to do in that place to help yourself personally and professionally. What are you going to do? If you're an organization junkie, fine. Go organize the shop. Organize your office. The shop been needing painting. You need to paint the shop last year. Let's get it done. Let's get it done. Let's set that default mode to things that are productive and keep us moving in the direction of our vision. Let's get it done. You know you've been needing to talk to the person. You got raggedy chairs and raggedy stations, and you got the money, and you've been putting off ordering chairs. And let's get it done. Let's get it done. You need to set up some time to hire some new people. But you're like, oh God, I don't have a mental energy. Yes, you do have it. Let your default setting be on. Create an entire list, because you can't do it all at one time. Create an entire list of things you need to do. So anytime you get in that space mentally or you got some time, your default settings need to automatically go to doing something on that list. Something. Doing something. This is absolutely necessary, guys, to keep you functioning. It is necessary. And like I said, this is what I'm not seeing. The routine of life can keep you stuck. It can keep you with the inability to change. It can keep you from even seeing what needs to be changed. So let your default settings be on things that you're trying to go towards. They may be old things you need to clean up. They may be new things you've been putting on hold. Whatever it is, I want you all to make sure that your business is part of your default settings. I want to make sure that practicing some things that help and grow or build your business is part of your default settings. So that's just something I need you all to think about. Okay? I wanted to share that story with you all. I hope you all enjoyed it as much as I did. You know, life has all kind of teachable moments, and everything I see, I listen to, I ride down streets, I'm riding out towards O'Hare Airport looking at billboards, and everything that I see and do teaches me something. So I love to share these things with you because I just want to see my people win. I want to see my salon owners be successful and be able to leave inheritances for their children's children, as the Bible says. But we're not going to be able to do that until we first get us together, and then we'll be able to transfer that over into our business and everyone in it. So that's my message today, guys. I'm almost at my stop. This is Knowledge by Nikki with 1K. I got my Knowing Your Numbers webinar coming up. It'll be probably in the next week. Several of you all have already told me that you're interested in knowing your numbers. People that are part of my Stretch and my Aspire group, you all will get free access, obviously. For everyone else, it'll be $50 to actually, it's going to be probably a 2-hour, maybe 3-hour webinar. If you want to understand your money and you want to understand how your money needs to change or what you need to do in order to leverage it and multiply it, text me at 800-580-8074 and just put in the box knowing your numbers. That's all you got to do. As soon as the webinar is finished, I will send you the link for you to have access. Obviously, everyone in my Aspire, my Stretch group, as I just said, will get it for free. If you think you need some extended help, you need help beyond just a webinar here and there, you can also text me at the same number. Somebody put that up for me. 580-8074, and I'll be able to actually help guide you into whether you need ongoing coaching, whether you just need a business assessment. I do that too, where I give you 60 days and we just kind of hash it out and work out some things for 60 days. I have all kind of different programs. I've actually brought in 2 bona fide coaches. They only coach the beauty industry. That's all they do. We've partnered and we're going to be able to each help you in different areas that you struggle in. I also have my Salon Owners Conference. And for everyone on here that's listening, that's part of my Aspire or Stretch group, you all already know that you get in the conference free. You get a free ticket. That is an $849 ticket that if you're in my Aspire or my Stretch group, you get completely for free. You still have to take care of your air and hotel, but I need everyone that's listening to me from Aspire and Stretch to text me or email me at our designated email address and let me know if you do plan on attending. I'm going to send that blast out today too for those that aren't listening. But my goal, guys, as I've said 1,000 times, is to just help move the needle. That's it. I just want to help move the needle. I want to make you think about what you're doing. I got an awesome text yesterday, or direct message, I don't remember what it was, about a young lady. I think she's in Houston, I think she said, and that's what she told me is that I have inspired her to think about how she does business differently. Because this is what I learned, and I was so happy to hear all the things she said about that, but this is what I learned about change, guys. Change, first off, can only come through the introduction to information. Information is the only thing that truly changes your life. And what it does first is I deliver the information, but then there's something called execution of the information. That means you still got to do something, okay? But you got to get the information first. Once you get the information, then the execution is next. And that's where some of us struggle. We become information junkies. We just go to class after class after class, and we got folders this big, or all the things that we've acquired and learned and collected, but we don't do anything with it. So make your default settings also. Make one of them. I'm going to sift through this information, and I'm going to put some action behind doing something with some of this information that I've required. Okay? Just so you know, this is Christopher. Hey, how much? Text me. I don't really, because I want to make sure that you're right for the group. So text me if you're interested in Aspire or Stretch, because we need to have a conversation. I need to make sure that it's what you're looking for, and you are able to actually understand how my program works. So text me. There's a guy named Christopher on the line now that says that he wants to become a part of Stretch. Text me at 800-580-8074, and I'll call you and we'll talk about it. And then we'll talk about pricing, we'll talk about what it is, what it does, what it's about, all of that, to make sure that it's a fit for you. Okay, and we'll go from there. But again, think about it, guys. What is your default setting set on? This is something I just want you all to think about. Okay, I'm getting off at my stop. I call this one of those just thinking messages. This wasn't to make you feel good and put goosebumps all over you. This was about you changing the way you think, changing some of your discipline so that when things happen, you don't say, forget this, I'm tired of this shop, I'm gonna sell it. No. Yesterday's talk was about changing your choices, which change your habits. Today's talk is about once you start working on those changes, let's do them and create a sense of discipline so that they can become our default settings, that when these things happen again, we automatically jump into the mode that's needed in order for us to pass through it. That's what has to happen. You all with me? So think about that. Chomp on that. This is Knowledge by Nikki with 1K. I'll see you tomorrow.